Hello, everyone. We are here in Hacking Education, the podcast to add more value and change a bit the mindset of teachers around the world hacking the system, hacking old-fashioned system with new ideas, with inspiring stories and inspiring projects. We are here right now to talk about Interchange Project, one of the most how you can describe this project? One of the most impactful, or I don't know,
Heartfelt.
project we have been doing in at least in my career. So I'm Alejandro Roldan. You too, of course. Yeah, I'm Alejandro Roldan. I'm a psychologist, and you are?
I'm Carol Handwerker. I'm a professor of materials engineering and environmental and ecological engineering at Purdue University.
And we both are the hosts of this podcast talking about Interchange Project. Okay? So let's start. You remember our first time, our first conversation. Could you describe that moment? Because you went, let me add a bit of the story. 11 years ago, more or less, in March or April, I was part of the library Spain there in Medellín, Colombia, in the District 1, Comuna 1, Santo Domingo Savio. This is the name of the neighborhood. And at that moment, I was coordinating and creating some different projects for the community, to community engage. And the idea was create interactions with the students, with different kind of communities there around the library, with the foreign people who visit us there in the US and from different parts of the world. And in that moment, I remember, was kind of late, like at 5:30, 6 p.m. And I saw a group of people talking in English, speaking English, and I said, okay, I want to practice, because it's kind of is difficult to practice there in Colombia. So I joined the group, and invite them to share with them some of the projects there in the library, different kind of projects, and that was the first moment that we met together. That was right?
So what happened to me before I came to Colombia was I just finished a major national project with many other people in looking at the National Nanotechnology Initiative, and then how it was being organized, what kind of programs it created. And one of the things that I particularly studied was the early education programs that they had created. So I just finished that program. We had a big report. I hit send on the computer, and I came to Colombia for a big program, a conference on nanotechnology in sustainability in medicine for the world. So here I am in Medellín, and I sort of fell in love with Medellín and the energy from the very beginning. I mean, that whole week, it was at Ruta N, and they said, all right, we want to take you around the city. So we went to Parque Explora, and they really wanted us to ride up and down the Metro Cabo and to visit Biblioteca España. Yeah. So what happened was, you haven't heard this story before, but he has heard it many times, that what happened was that I was part of this group touring, and I saw all of these kids in the in Biblioteca España giving that presentation, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But Alejo wasn't doing the whole presentation himself. He was standing off to the side, and you were beaming. I have never seen that look of just joy and pride at what these kids were doing. And I immediately thought, I think I'll go introduce myself to this person. I think I need to get to know him. So what happened was, he told me about the programs at the Spanish library, and they were great. And then I asked, well, what are you doing in science? And he said, well, nothing. I said, we can do a Nano Days. It's a special one-day event with the universities in the city, and we could do that at the library. And so you immediately said, okay, let's do it. And we started talking nonstop, and I grabbed a graduate student from Colombia who wanted to be part of this too. And then we rode down the Metro Cava, and we couldn't stop talking the whole time. We had a plan. We exchanged emails. And that's how we got started down this journey.
Exactly. I remember that was my first time with this weird concept about that moment, STEM education. You shared with me the idea. Nano Days was like a STEM approach, and STEM. What's mean STEM? And you told me science, technology, engineering, math. It's like a movement right now in the world. 2013, that was the time, and I remember, okay, I need to understand more and learn more, and different approach about, again, I'm a psychologist, and this is far from my background. So when I realized the importance of STEM education and nanotechnology, because again, psychologists and nanotechnology are not really related. At this moment,
but that then, but we found it was.
Exactly. So I put that concept in my backpack, and I say, okay, I need to learn more. So you gave me your email, and I remember wrote in my broken English, kind of a proposal, like a small project, and I sent you a message saying, okay, what if we could meet each other in a video call through Skype at that moment? That was the video call platform. And you say, okay, right, perfect. So we met through Skype like 8 days after our first meeting. No, that was...
We did. And so remember, it was first Nano Days, which is one day you bring in all the kids and all the schools and introduce them to nanotechnology. By the time we talked again, and you said, how about doing a 6-week after-school program? Oh, and by the way, I've already recruited 5 schools and 25 kids to be part of this program.
Yeah.
And Alejandro Castaneda, the graduate student, and I, we looked at each other and said, sure, okay, we can do this. So we just kept on developing ideas and sharing, and so the rest is history.
Exactly. 25 kids, 5 schools around the library, all of them inquisitive and interested in science. But, for our city, the idea of nanotechnology and 6 weeks course was really complicated for me to explain to the principals in each one of the schools what's mean nanotechnology. You try to put in my shoes at that moment. Okay, principal, you could choose 5 of your students, maybe with this kind of interest in science, or maybe inquisitive with different topics. And the principal asked me, but what is the core of the workshop or the... And I say nanotechnology, and he say, okay, and you know what is that? And I more or less, but we have an expert. And I talk about you and Carol Handwerker, and at that moment was like, okay, interesting. But more than the nanotechnology or science, that was like, because, okay, it's a foreign professor from a university. That was the feedback from the principals, and so when I talked with you at that second moment in the video call, I had this 25 students group. You say, okay, yes, and we could recruit some of my PhD students. That was your answer. You remember?
Right. And actually, every person we talked to about this, Alejandro Castaneda and me, they all said, oh, we'd like to be part of this too. What can we do to help? Yeah. So we made carbon nanotubes. We found different resources on the web to teach about nanotechnology. We were working in it too, but to introduce it in really a 2-hour workshop for 6 weeks.
Every Monday.
Every Monday was challenging. So we had to be practiced. And so
Hands-on activities.
they were all hands-on activities. So when we came up with a hands-on activity, remember we were at Purdue, you were in Medellín, and you went out and got the different supplies that we needed. And then you also talked to Franklin Jaramillo, who had organized the workshop, the workshop that I went to at RUTN.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, I want to be part of this too." So he did one of the afternoon workshops.
Totally. And I remember he recruited not just from the UDA, Franklin Jaramillo, hello, Franklin Jaramillo, but also from UPV, from EAFIT, a community of nanotechnology and scientists around this project, like around 25 students. When you hear that, it's kind of crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
And so also remember, we had no money. This is not like we submitted a proposal to anyone and asked for money and supplies and our time. No, we just did it.
Yeah. Heart to heart.
Heart to heart. Yeah. And everybody was forgiving toward each other about what we brought. But I think we did amazing things from the very beginning. Yeah. And one of our students, Jairo Diaz, he was going back to Bogota, from Purdue to Bogota, and he went and gave one of the lectures too. Yeah. And he brought samples and he shared about his PhD research. Yeah. So people really took the time and the effort to communicate. But also, the kids were so good about just laying it out, laying their souls bare in a way. I mean, actually, I think all of us were. Yeah. But just willing to be vulnerable and taking a chance that we would be good enough teachers and mentors to help them.
Totally. Yeah, something that is really amazing is the sense of community around us, as you mentioned, of say, okay, no, I want to be part of this. And then from a community sense of connection, we realize that we have a family. And we create this together in the whole group, this concept of global family. Remember, because that was not just science activities or really complex concepts or hands-on in their activities in the library, but also we create this bond between us, the students, the community around us, the university, the city, a lot of connections, a huge network around us. Without budget, without, just ideas are really...
And our energy and hard work and passion. And every time we turned around, someone wanted to help. So the dean at Purdue, Arvind Raman, who's in charge of the Columbia Purdue Institute.
Yeah, exactly.
All of them were so not just excited about it, but I think we touched their hearts. Because the kids touched their hearts.
And changed their mindset.
And so one of the things that got us on their path, so we did the first 6 weeks, and there were 16 kids that really
engaged with
that kept through with us down this journey the whole way. And then they said, "Okay, Alejo and Carol, what now?"
I remember that moment. They say, "Okay, now."
Now.
I don't know.
And so, after about a nanosecond, we figured it out.
Yeah.
And then we had the EPICS program. So then the professors at UDA, UPB, and EAFIT, they created projects for the students to be part of.
Exactly.
Immediately.
But that's really important to describe what's mean EPICS, is...
engineering projects and community service.
Exactly.
So it's a program that originated at Purdue. It is really global. And it's to empower students and their teachers to attack real world problems. They have a particular process to go through, but to attack real world problems that affects their community. So we had 3 projects. One was I think with UDA, it was the Metro Cava.
Yeah, for
So it was
grocery.
to design some special, like, low-cost escalators to help people bring their groceries up the hills so that they wouldn't have to drag them themselves. There was one that was in a more outlying district about how to arrange the sanitation in these small villages so it wouldn't contaminate the water supply.
Exactly.
And the third one was at UPB in the Nanotechnology Center, where 3 of our students developed a nanocellulose health supplement using local fruit, and so that it could be added to fruit juice that sort of helped the digestion, called nanofruit.
Nanofruit. I love the name.
I know, I did too.
That.
They even had little bottles of it.
Exactly, little bottles in the presentation. It was great. Yeah.
So, and then they said...
They had a brand even, like
they had a brand.
Nanofruit.
Absolutely.
It was really good
Nanofruit. And then they finished those projects, and then the kids said, what now?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And we were there.
Exactly. We were there. With the same sense of community and family together, trying to open new opportunities for them and for us, as a project, as a group of people. And I remember you invite me to come here to US in a Duke Energy summer camp at that moment. I remember. And I came back to Medellín at that 2013 because I felt the responsibility to share something similar that I experienced here in Purdue as a boot camp, as a summer camp, with a lot of students engaged with the activities and creating new things, but with this feeling of when you work in education, you realize that schools are not the place to be smart, sadly, because sometimes to be smart or too smart or, gifted is kind of to be vulnerable for a lot of people, saying like, okay, you are bullying. So it's not a place to be smart. And that was when I came here, and it felt like, this is the place to be smart, and you could share your ideas and you could create with others. I felt, okay, we need something like this there in Medellín. So I remember talking with Juan Diego Velázquez, greetings from Juan Diego and Arvin too, and he mentioned Ruta N Corporation. And he said, okay, what if you go there and talk with someone there and maybe share your ideas and the Interchange Project? Who knows what happened? So I need to say that from that conversation, we had at that moment 25 students, a community around us, etc., but not a place, not budget, not anything. After that, they, in Ruta N Corporation, they invited me to create a huge program there. And from 25, then 36, and then 750 students in Interchange.
I know.
That was crazy. That was beautiful. And we create the first nerd community in Medellín, Colombia, based on this community, family, global family, and based on trust, heart-to-heart projects. Remember that?
I remember.
Yeah.
Very well.
And I would like to highlight some outcomes of our project during this 10 years, because we impact 750 students and their families with activities. You remember, we went to Loyola, we went to San Ignacio school, private, public schools. We did a lot of things, but we connect with the Jerry camp, with the camp here with some budget from some friends and budget from Ruta N. And during 5 years, we take some 49 students from different public schools to here, to the Jerry Camp, to open their view of the world, to interact and collaborate with other students around the world, from France, from Native Americans, a lot of multicultural experience.
Yeah, so I want to make a point about the Jerry Camp. It's a gifted education research institute. So it was an international camp, but founded by Purdue, by Marcia Gentry.
Marcia Gentry,
who,
in our hearts.
So the late Marcia Gentry, but she immediately recognized us as kindred spirits in this.
Exactly.
And so they opened up their hearts to us too. And then we brought the kid, I guess, 5 cohorts of students here.
49 students. From those 49 students who came to Jerry Camp, we had almost 45 finish or are doing their bachelor degree. 2 of them are studying a PhD studies here in Purdue, one in engineering and one in education. We have twins, really smart twins, who won this huge prize. I don't know if you know, but Juan Camilo Quintero, for sure you will see this, Juan Camilo and Mateo. He won a prize. He won like a scholarship, $500,000 to. So this is a group of people maintain in connection, but also we have social leaders. Tanya, for sure you will see this. Tanya, she's a sport coach, soccer coach, enhancing a lot of girls and women there in the Comuna Uno. She's still working hard there. Carlos, you could say some words about Carlos.
So Carlos first he had an idea. He wanted to become a doctor. Then, he was really trying to understand what kind of pathway. And then thought about nursing. He did nursing, and this happens with so many of our kids, right? That they're trying to find what really excites them. And then he went to a technical school and learned about heating and air conditioning, engineering, and installations, and he fell in love with it. So that's what he's doing now. So we have all of these kids they found different pathways.
Totally.
And I'm so incredibly proud of all of them.
Yeah, we are so proud. We need to say that of each one of them. But I think it's not okay just you and I talk about this. I think we must invite someone else to talk about his experience.
That's a good idea. Who shall we invite?
I don't know. Maybe we have here a special guest, Anthony Carete. Now, please, my friend, come here and talk about this experience, because it's so hard for us. A lot of emotion, a lot of experience. Hey, man, how are you?
Hey, guys.
I saw you in a podcast, maybe about gifted education or something like that.
Maybe you did. I think you did.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me, guys, here, and of course for allowing the opportunity to share a little bit of my experience. I don't think I have to share a lot of my experience because that's not something I'm used to do. So if I get emotional, just bear with me, okay?
This is an emotional podcast, okay?
It is for sure.
Yeah. So you're the voice of a lot of students, but mostly those 49s, the global family. So could you give us a bit, I don't know, some milestones in this story, 10 years. So could you give us a bit more about your story and the family and your perspective about this global family?
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to try my best. Milestones. When I think of a milestone, the first one that comes to my mind is the very first moment where this professor Joaquin Rivas he enters to my room. I was just paying attention to my class, and then he says, "Hey guys, would like to invite you to go to a course about nanotechnology that is going to be taught in La Biblioteca España." But he didn't provide any other detail. Like if you want to go, you can just go. This is not gonna be like I'm not gonna give you extra grades or something. You just go.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, all right. And then he invited me. He invited Carlos and some other of my friends. And then that was the first milestone, just getting out of the classroom and getting these extra classes. But nanotechnology is something that I never heard ever in my life. And then I got there, I started to see these passionate professors teaching some kids from Popular 2 neighborhood and a lot of other neighborhoods in Medellín about science and nanotechnology. And then that was just engaging. It was just something that we wanted to keep on working. And then that was, I guess, the second milestone, starting to go to the Biblioteca España. And definitely the project of the creation of the nano fruit. So I was there. I was leading the project along with Joan and Carlos. And also with some professors from the UPV University. It was just so crazy to see how they discovered a bacteria in Medellín and then just made something out of it. So the bacteria's name is Gluconasectobacter medellinensis.
Oh my God.
Believe me,
You remember?
it took like 3 months to memorize.
So smart.
And then, so it was just very interesting to see, how this bacteria was eating, some kind of organic garbage, and then producing nanocellulose, and then making a juice or a nectar out of it.
Like
It
a
was just
banana
very
peels and other things.
Exactly. So it was just very interesting. Another milestone was to be able to see the labs and the actual work they do there. I was just like, okay, this is very interesting. And I started for the first time to see myself in something related to education, because I don't know, if it just felt like before starting to participate in Interchange, I don't think I had any idea of what I was going to do other than, I don't know, maybe just fixing computers, because that was my part job when I was studying, which is not wrong, but I don't know, it was very limiting in terms of vision, right? So that's another milestone. Of course, the following one is the Jerry program, right? Coming to the Jerry camp as a camper for 2 weeks, where I was able to experience a whole new world. Like, it was not only the camp, but the fact that I was able to just get out of my walls, the 4 walls that encompassed my reality back then. Just the fact that there is a bigger world that I can be part of, and that is challenging me in terms of learning English, in terms of learning a new culture, and of course, in terms of being part of a huge academic community. It was surprising to me, and I wanted to be part of it. And I did, and I was so engaged and passionate about it that I don't know how, but I came to Purdue one more time when I was finishing my undergrad in psychology. I was
No nanotechnology.
No
because
nanotechnology.
Nanofruit, but psychologist.
Exactly.
Okay.
Psychology. Okay, that's another whole story, but okay. I guess I'm full of surprises too. Now, so I was finishing my degree, and then I was discussing with Alejo and with Juan Diego and some other colleagues about this opportunity to accompany the kids that were coming to Purdue in the future generations, right? So I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm a psychologist right now. I'm finishing my degree. And I know by fact that these campers need social-emotional accompaniment during the experience.
Totally.
Because most of the times they experience homesickness, or it might be very overwhelming for them. And we saw an opportunity, again, for me to come. And then we proposed this research project in which we were able to see to what degree their professional values, citizenship values, and bilingual skills will be modified through an international internship to the Jerry Camp. The idea was likable. They liked it. I feel like that was also given reasons to keep promoting the program. And I came one more time.
But just before you finish, because I know a bit about this story.
Okay.
Could you name some of those kids you accompany or you be with them in that moment? Could you remember the names of them?
I certainly can. There's Andres.
Andres,
it's a very special
for
one.
sure.
Andres.
Yeah.
Edwin, Howard, Camila, Anna. Those were like I just feel like I connected a lot with them.
Yeah.
Because we were also doing. I forgot this strategy where they just write in a daily what they do, and I remember reading their stories and how impactful were the classes for them and the people they got to know. So that's why they hold a special place in my heart.
Okay. Let's continue your story. I'm sorry, man.
Okay, no, and I guess what I was saying is, so I came one more time, and this second time was an opportunity to also keep building my professional network, and also to see the camp from another perspective, not from a camper, but as a big brother or as a leader. Okay. Then I liked the process, I liked the people, I liked what I was seeing, and then we come back to Colombia, and then I thought, okay, now how again am I going to go to Purdue? I had no idea. I don't think anybody had any idea of if that was even possible, especially because Purdue, it's very science related or engineering related, and I was part of humanities. I still don't know, like how I did it, but I guess after a couple of willingness to make projects happen, and the close relationship that Purdue has with Colombia and with some universities there, through a partnership that is called Europe C, led by Juan Diego.
Juan Diego Velasquez. Hello, my friend.
Juan Diego, hola. Then that became a reality. So there was this very quick 3 minutes conversation with him in which he was asking, Anthony, do you have these and these and these skills? If you do, then apply. And I happened to have some experience in research, some level of English too, and to be finalizing my degree. So I was in the right time with the right persons or people.
And we have 2 more students from the Interchange Project doing the same Europe C program right now in our family, but here in the university.
We do. And that's something we are very proud of.
Yeah.
They were doing everything they could to be here, to keep, continuing their professional pathways. And they were accepted. 2 of them were accepted for a 6-month research internship. So they're very excited and practicing their English skills too. And we're providing all the accompaniment we can.
Great. Tell us about the last milestone.
Last milestone is definitely applying for a PhD. That was a very critical moment in my life because I had no idea what I was actually applying for in terms of, I did have an idea, but it was not as clear as to decide and jumping into a PhD. I was scared. And I was questioning also my abilities to do research or anything, to a PhD level. And then I thought, maybe this is not for me. But then, after this very one conversation with Carlos, my friend, with my dear Carol, with you,
Alejo, me.
Alejo.
And your mother. We need
course,
to talk about her because
all right,
she hates me a little bit.
She hates him because, of course, he was dragging me.
No, don't say that.
No, but so we had this conversation in which I was just saying, hey, I'm not sure if I have what it takes to come to Purdue. And then everybody was encouraging. And then he said, Anthony, what are you talking about? What are you thinking? Just stop thinking that much and just jump. And then I don't know what or why, but those words, they just got me. And then I was like, you know what? Sure, let's just jump. And then I did, and very scared, but I still did. And also, the idea of hope that I'm now more aware of, it's a very important concept because it's related to agency and pathways, which means if you believe you can do it, you're gonna find the ways of making it that happen. I didn't know that back then, but what was driving me was also hope of getting, a couple of changes in my life in terms of challenging myself with being in a new world to me, in a new context, new culture, and learning new skills. And here I am.
Wow. What do you think about this story?
You know, I'm so proud. I'm also so proud and happy about how all the members of our community could support you in that. Because, I don't know, you've heard it takes a village, but in this case, the village was our family. I mean, it was a global one when different people from all over the world came to you and said, you can do this, Anthony. And they're also saying this to everyone else in our family. So supporting them, and no matter what their dreams are, it's really living their dreams. And I think one of the things that's brought us together is that we all have this feeling that we have this family bond. It's truly corazón a corazón from the beginning. I'm not crying. but it really, I think in this, we haven't held anything back in the way that we've all interacted. And that goes for everybody. You talked about Carlos and Tanya and Juan Ernesto de Purdue and Juan Diego de Purdue and so many other people all had their parts to play in helping each other. And this isn't just about helping you guys. I mean, you're our family. This is important to all of us. So thank you.
Oof. Speechless.
I know. This is, I think, one of the most challenging podcasts I ever heard in my life. And talk about this project is from the heart. But I will challenge you both to try to use 3 words to describe this family, this project, because for the people who's engaging with this podcast, Hacking Education podcast, for sure will be really useful to understand not just the outcomes and the story, but what's it mean to have a STEM project, the first time a STEM project, creating a global family, creating new paths, learning paths for each one of them, but also how we could replicate these kind of things in other places in the world. So that is why I want to share with them 3 tools, ideas, or concepts based on our experience to share there in Colombia and other places, there in Venezuela, Salvador, wherever, even here in the US, this kind of global families, powerful conversation, meaningful relationships, and also life-changing travels and experience like Jerry and others. 3 words, 3 concepts, ideas. Sorry, I know 3 is short, but.
So the first one is love. It's having, to me, and that means that having a faith in the goodness of people. You're seeing that love in other people and their ability to to share it. Trust, because we didn't know where this was going to lead at all. At any stage, we just made it up as we went along, and we found the resources, or we did what we could. And the third is forever. And that's because we're a family. This is a commitment. This is not like in universities where you get a grant and you do something and then everybody disperses. We've made a commitment to each other, and maybe it won't be directly for each other because, paying it forward has been important, that we believe that we can bring in other people into our family. So, and I think it's changed me forever. Those are my 3 words.
Okay. Try, my friend. Just try after that word.
Yes, I'm going to try. Hope, it's definitely one of my words, because of what I just explained. Will. I think it takes will from a lot of people to get things together and make it work, make it happen. And then hard work.
Hard work.
And you know what? I'm going to give you a bonus one.
Which one?
Willingness to make sacrifices. Okay, that's a whole sentence. Okay, but definitely that's something that is in there.
Oh. My God, 3 words. My God, what a challenge. 10 years in 3 words. I don't know. Yeah. Grit is one. The discipline, the will to do the things, the homework that Maria Jose Cadena taught us at that moment. We need to do the homework every day. And as you mentioned, forever when you have a vision. My second word is long-term vision. Not just project, 1-year project, yet 2-year project just for, I don't know, some metrics or indicators. No, long-term vision. Because in this family, we are investing, obviously, in our community, but in a lot of people around each one of you. So we are changing the world in that way. And I need to say love. I don't know. Love and hope are both based on this. So I'm really sorry because I'm here crying in front of cameras, but that is a group of ideas and words that are real tools to create meaningful projects, long-term projects with a long-term vision. What do you think about this?
I'm just thinking of the couple of friends and family who might, be seeing this from my city, from my neighborhood. Guys, when you see this, I guess it's this camera. Guys, when you see this, I want you to believe that it's possible as long as you are in the right scenario with the right people and with the right skills, so you can take advantage of opportunities. That is work hard, because the more you get, the luckier as long as you work the hardest. I guess if that makes sense.
Okay.
So,
last words?
Last words. So what I'd like to do is to thank the parents of all these kids, because they trusted us to bring their kids, well, first to Biblioteca España and other places, and then to Purdue. And they've trusted us to care for their kids. And I can't thank you enough for having done that. Thank you.
Okay. We're done. I don't know. We're done.